champion pool. His Azir has been getting better, although SofM has been definitely helping propel that forward. But typically he's more of like a Lissandra, and like Lissandra player.
You know, does try his hand at a few other things, but you're exactly right. I mean, I think the only other really notable performances he's had are on the likes of Varus, something like that, that doesn't get a whole lot of play anymore.
Look at Martin's KDA. Obviously, Martin is also going to be the substitution coming in here for Crystal, if we're talking about the bot lanes as well. Crystal is more of a hard carry-oriented ADC, whereas Martin is a bit more team-oriented, despite the fact that they've been playing the same champions almost exclusively, being that Lucian. But obviously, the team feeling a bit more comfortable to have Martin in there as the AD carry position. Maybe not as important as it once was in terms of carry potential.
Yeah, it's very true. And if we have a look at the last game here for Snake as well, I mean, versus Saint, they played very similar team comps both times around. SofM back-to-back Rek'Sai games. Of course, Tank back-to-back Azir games. Crystal managed to get on Lucian and Ezreal. I believe it was Martin who was playing.
Martin.
So Martin was able to get on Lucian and Ezreal. So similar feeling, Ekko and Fizz being played by Flandre, and we'll see whether they change things up moving into this one, as IG will be on the other side of the rift. Zatai, Kid, Rookie, Rain, Tabe going to be taking it on, and we'll see whether Rookie is going to be able to once again be the calling card for IG, or whether they play the map like they did against Game Talents, because that was the really impressive stuff that we were seeing from this team, where they were able to navigate a split push scenario almost effortlessly.
And a lot of that has to go back towards Tabe. Obviously, we can't sit in comms, and we can't definitively say, you know, Tabe is the secret ingredient to IG having a brain and moving around the map intelligently. But whenever you see him, this guy is yelling. He seems to be at least boosting the morale of the team. They look happy all the time, and they look much cleaner. This is a smarter Invictus Gaming, and you can see Tabe already on your screen talking to the team. As if you're happy and you know it, clap your hands.
Rookie is the happiest mid laner in the LPL. I swear to God, that guy's grin is infectious. And we'll see whether it is going to help them, you know, take off against Snake for this first game, because they're going to have to. I have a feeling that Snake are going to fight back hard, especially from that jungle position. And that's sort of where the mismatches are, right? Tank versus Rookie. Of course, Rookie definitely favored in that one. But SofM probably favored in the Kid versus him matchup.
Yeah, and it's super important because this is like the two most important roles right now in the current meta on the current patch. It's that 2v2 between your jungle and mid laners. And like you said, the fact that SofM can compensate for Tank and Rookie can compensate for Kid. But they also have very different responsibilities. So we take a look at Vladimir's win rates.
Yep.
Kid is more so he's a little bit more proactive on Gragas, but he does a lot of his team's side warding, and he's a bit more kind of reactive jungler, whereas SofM is so proactive in setting everything up and setting the tempo and pace for Snake's games.
Yeah, and the first time we saw SofM, he was playing largely a carry style, picking up things like the Graves, the Kindred, things like that, really getting things going for his team. And we thought, okay, this is a guy that can put the team on his back. Then does basically the same thing
with Rek'Sai.
With Rek'Sai, which is just disgusting to see. This is fantastic play out of Tank's Lissandra, a champion that we will be seeing either picked or banned tonight, I have a feeling. Just because that is, of course, where his comfort lies. And this is Ryze, champion we won't see at all. don't even worry about it, guys. It's just not going to happen.
I love this little video of all of kind of the standout champions so far for the LPL.
We're going through the ban list.
Yeah, pretty much.
Basically.
Tonight's bans will feature Vladimir, Swain, Ryze, and Lissandra. Brought to you by the LPL.
Yeah, exactly. And maybe even Fizz too, which I believe will be coming up right after this, after we have a look at Swain just doing repugnant things to enemy teams.
But even if these champions are not banned or picked, we have to talk about them in terms of their popularity for the teams playing tonight.
Yeah.
Fizz is a big pick for both Zatai as well as Flandre. It's kind of his signature pick. We've already talked at length about Tank's Lissandra. And then Rookie, you can't let that guy have anything.
Yeah, basically. If you give him a power pick, you're going to have a massive, massive problem. As, just it's not going to happen. If they do manage to pick up the Vladimir, I have a feeling it will probably be heading towards the top side of the map, though. Zatai has been ridiculous on that champion, managing to take a game off EDG by grabbing that pick, and I don't think that we're going to be seeing it this time around.
It's pretty much been permabanned away from Zatai's hands since he got it once, and then, like you said, EDG managed to let it through and then quickly corrected that scenario after Invictus Gaming did take a game off of them, brought EDG to 3 games. I don't suspect that Vladimir will go through. That said, there is technically some options for Vlad counterplay in the likes of Flandre's champion pool.
Yeah, precisely. We'll see whether it is going to be picked or banned away as we do hop into champion select here. Twisted Fate and the Swain are going to be taken away on the blue side here from Snake. Don't want to let Rookie grab that counter pick TF. As Rek'Sai and Nidalee both banned from IG, there's going to be a lot left open this time around.
And reminder that if this comes down between the junglers being primary facilitators, Kid has found a lot of success recently on his Gragas pick. Probably looks the cleanest for him in terms of him being a playmaker around the map. So it's not a burn against IG to remove people like Kindred, like Rek'Sai, like Nidalee, although Kindred's left open.
Yeah, Kindred left up and Vladimir has been banned away on the side of IG, so the Lissandra is still up. We're having a look back at the video. Fizz still there as well, but of course not necessarily super high priority as Kindred. Bit of a no-brainer here for SofM and already with a gigantic power pick in his hands.
So the primary concern there is the fact that SofM got the Kindred, and he's already shown a streak to be able to hard carry, like you said. But it's not really, again, a burn against Kid. Kid can play Kindred, but he's not reliant on it to be successful in the jungle anymore, and I still don't think it's his most potent pick with that Gragas still available. So hopefully IG do have an answer to at least slow SofM down on this Kindred pick, but it really won't hurt them in their compositions.
Yeah, true. Braum and Gangplank currently being looked at here by Invictus Gaming. Azir is definitely something that needs to be addressed, as Rookie could head towards that one. Currently hovered. And I mean, Kid can, of course, down the line pick up something like an Elise, get some early ganking going on, as Braum is going to be the next lock-in here for Tabe.
I think it's between Graves or Gragas would be what I would assume Kid would pick up. Tank now has the option that he can either go into the Victor or he can go into the Lissandra to face across from Rookie's Azir. He's going to have a tough early lane phase no matter what he chooses.
Yeah.
But at this point, it's just kind of survive Rookie and make sure you don't feed him too much.
The thing here as well is the fact that Martin can head towards his Lucian or his Ezreal, depending on what he feels like, and that is going to be locked in. So Lucian and Ekko taken away here for Snake.
Rain has been entirely dependent on Sivir as of recently. I think a majority of Invictus Gaming's games, it's been that 80 carry he goes to, that and Ezreal as he flashes that. So the Lucian takeaway isn't as punishing. So again, IG, they are letting Snake get their power picks, but Snake's power picks don't necessarily deny anything away from what IG have been running.
Yeah, that's a good point. As Snake looking like they're just going through their favorite champions here for the moment, as Bard being looked at for Jiezou, playmaking support, certainly something that fits his playstyle, and Tank untouched as far as the ban list is concerned is the Lissandra, and Rookie did not want to prioritize that one as he's already taken that Azir. So sort of a big deal draft so far for Snake, and if they lock away this Karma, they'll have so much movement and stickiness in any of the fights that could potentially break out.
And that would be really the first denial pick, obviously, as well as a power pick in that support position. Tabe has been relying a lot on Karma. We've seen the rise of this champion, simply because it means that you don't necessarily have to take Sivir. Movement speed has been nerfed on the mid-season patch, and so champions that augment that are just slightly buffed, which puts Karma in a very good position.
Well, it is going to be Lissandra and Karma locked in here for Snake. We'll see whether they are going to be able to make this one work out, because it looks like IG going to be stepping away from what was split pushing style that we did see from them. Of course, changing it up just a little bit as they started playing a little bit more of that sort of double AP style, getting around the map, trying to layer that AoE damage in team fights, utilizing Swain, Vladimir, things like that, plus Victors. But they are going to take away the Trundle here, so IG just with a pretty generally scary team to go up against.
It's two very practiced compositions, so that's what's kind of cool here is that either team, yes, they kind of remove the quote-unquote, over-tuned champions there. Yeah. Maybe some target bans with the Twisted Fate, as well as the... No, I'm going to say Twisted Fate and Rek'Sai, that's about it. But otherwise, Snake and IG have very practiced compositions that these teams both run. They got all of their comfort champions. They know exactly what they're doing here, so this is the best iteration of Snake and IG on the best iteration of their compositions that they run all the time.
Yeah, precisely. And when Snake were floundering a little bit, it was due to the fact that Tank had Lissandra permabanned against him, because this is by far and away the champion he looks most comfortable on. And that is a good news story for Snake, because they often just play to the ceiling of their mid laner.
Tank is very good about playing around Fog of War with Lissandra, so really check on how they're going to set up around objectives like Dragon, like Baron, particularly with the parallel convergence on Flandre, as well as the Frozen Tomb on Tank. That will be the secret of success for Snake's team fighting.
Yeah, and we'll have to see whether they decide to go for their coveted lane swap, as the coaches are going to shake hands. Let's get into game 1 of day 3. Thank you very much, Flandre, and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Summoner's Rift for our first game of the night. Of course, day 3 of week 3 of the LPL's summer split. Snake taking on Invictus Gaming. As we cruise down, IG are going to be on our red side, and Snake, with basically all of their favorite picks, are going to be on the blue.
I still think that Invictus Gaming also got all of their favorite picks, which, again, makes this incredibly exciting, because I love when two teams are just comfortable at their highest performance and they just smash into each other. I would always much rather watch a game where two teams are playing well than one team playing poorly. But let's quickly cover these compositions. So IG, I'm going to call this kind of a very heavy farm composition, at least for the early game. Naturally, you're waiting on big item breakpoints for the likes of Azir and Ezreal, but you actually don't have a lot of kill pressure for Graves in a lot of these situations. Mostly, he's going to be looking towards top lane at Zatai, because you want to get that Trundle ahead of the Ekko to open up the opportunity for split pushing later down the road. So watch Kid and how he's going to interact with the top side of his map, not only because it is Graves Trundle, but more importantly because it's Invictus Gaming and they never gank bottom side. On the other side, though, Snake have a more immediate composition with kind of where their kill threat is located. They've got kill threat bottom, kill threat top, as well as in their mid lane, all at different positions, and then a hard carry jungler. So I feel like Snake are going to be much more proactive in this early game about trying to snowball their lanes and get their immediate advantages, whereas IG kind of want to let this draw out a little bit.
Yeah, it just looks like Snake have got this brilliant setup for getting SofM the leads that he just often finds for himself when we're into these games. As you can see already, Kid on the move towards what could be a Rift Scuttler, unless he heads over to the blue buff. And it looks like he's been watching the pathing of SofM.
Yeah, this is very cool. So one of the first games that we saw SofM take the Rek'Sai in, what he does is this very creative pathing. Because the experience changes on the jungle, to just get as many levels as quickly as possible, he leaves both buffs and he prioritizes the Rift Scuttler. So what he did on Rek'Sai is he would take all of his smaller camps, so this time around on Kindred he's going for his red buff, obviously more important for her kill pressure, and he would immediately go grab bottom Rift Scuttler and then come back across into the top side of the map, grab the other Rift Scuttler, and then take enemy Krugs, and then go and gank. So Kid, a great adaptation there, knows that Kindred or SofM didn't take his blue buff, or typically doesn't, pokes his head in, gets a free buff, and could look to possibly 3 buff.
Well, you can see SofM actually already going back, grabs himself a Hunter's Machete and a refillable potion, or just refills his potion, and also gets himself a pink ward. So early back is the change as he heads up towards a little bit of a sad blue buff that is now missing from his side of the map.
Yeah, and that means EXP advantage will be to Kid. Does have a full camp ahead of him. We'll see if Kindred can start to speed this up. Of course, it's a little bit difficult to keep up with the Graves, but there we go. Disappointment has struck. He sees that his blue buff is gone.
Yep, little question mark ping going to be on the map here as SofM, in time for his Gromp to respawn, is now Tank just taken harassment here from Rookie over and over again.
But this is a world that we live in where Kid is able to 3-buff the likes of SofM. Again, he is no longer a liability for Invictus Gaming. Kid is actually a very stable jungler, especially when he's on the likes of Graves, who kind of acts as like a pseudo AD carry.
Yeah, and it's just really smart how he's played out this early game, understanding the habits of his opposition. Shouldn't worry SofM too much. Of course, as he makes his way up towards this Rift Scuttler here on the top side of the map, and we'll see whether he's going to be able to utilize the remainder of his red buff in order to pick up a little bit more.
They're actually going to walk into each other. The other thing that SofM has a tendency to do is he keeps timers on Raptors as well as Krugs, and he likes to repeatedly deny that against his enemy opponents. So we already see a very early ward coming out of him on that Raptor camp, so we can start to get that timer. We'll see if he looks to challenge Kid head on.
Well, he's pinged the Krug camp at the moment, understands that that could be where Kid is going to be. As Rookie playing pretty far up here against Tank, as there's the Claw of Doom. Rookie, as soon as you have to use that Shift and Sands, that blue bar underneath your health tends to go a little bit low.
Yeah, just giving some invisible pressure and Tank a bit of a leg up in this lane, although Rookie still has the CS advantage, is to be expected early levels against the likes of Azir. More importantly to note, though, is that Martin and Jiezou have been pushed up this entire time. Kid was actually down on that bottom side of the map, had an opportunity to look for a gank, and still didn't pull the trigger on it. It just goes back to reinforce this idea that IG's bottom lane, they're completely on their own. They're on something very self-sufficient like Ezreal, like Braum, but no one is coming to save them unless Zatai gets a snowball early top advantage and then uses a TP bottom.
Well, at the moment he does have that opportunity as he has shoved Flandre up. Flandre using his teleport to get back to lane after he grabs himself a Doran's Ring, the Dark Seal, just to help him with that Corrupting Potion and some boots there as well. But no deep vision available here for IG if they want to get a teleport down, just because they haven't been able to leave their turret this entire laning phase. As Snake's bottom lane have been unrelenting. No pun intended.
Back timers do want to come in here, so unfortunately, even though Martin and Jiezou are again overextended, they should be wanting to head back to base relatively soon. It is important, though, that Kid drop down into this river and contest the Scuttle Crab to deny the mark from Kindred. See if maybe he gets curious enough to also gank Lucian and Karma. Nope.
Yeah, definitely is going to be taking that Rift Scuttler, but it seems to be hard farming from both of these junglers. As you can see, SofM was just clearing the top side of his jungle. In fact, his jungle entirely empty, as the Krugs are now possibly going to be taken from SofM's Kindred, as he can head over that wall when he feels like it. Tracker's Knife already done here as well, so SofM understands exactly where people are, and Flandre even adding some help here in the jungle as Kid.
The red buff is about to come up, and so it looks like Snake are in a position to contest this.
Yeah, Kid actually having to flash as Flandre heads straight after him. No tank here as Rookie is going to make his way over first. Phase Dive gets Flandre in, but just so confident now that he has that ultimate available.
Yeah, and it was the confidence, like you said, of the Chrono Break being available, so now it is a 3v3 superior positioning to Snake, and they're going to just brute force and start taking assets away from Kid. It only started with a small Raptor, but the wards are placed to contest for that red buff.
SofM easily going to be able to grab that as they've got so much vision. Look, 3 pink wards on the top side of the enemy jungle.
Something that they do not have, though, is positioning on the mid lane. Rookie has control of it right now, and Tank has to really respect this. So this is kind of the one caution for Snake trying to contest, is that Rookie has locked down Lissandra.
Lissandra, though, does have herself that Catalyst to the Protector, so will be a little bit more, I guess, sufficient here in this lane as far as getting health and mana back. But you're right, Rookie, once again, always creating pressure. This Kid doesn't check the brush. Sad times.
And in the end, it's Rookie's just natural pressure that he has that saves Kid's red buff. Able to take that way, nothing ends up happening. In fact, a lot of gold is actually expended from Snake in terms of their vision, laying down those pink wards for a play that fizzled out due to their mid laner being behind.
Yeah, I guess it still will be offering them, I guess, some information as far as keeping Flandre happy towards the top side of the map. Kid, it's going to be very difficult for him to find a way in without getting noticed. Flandre, of course, likes to have as much space as he can, but you can see Zatai and Flandre are so close. It's not like they're trying to stop him from getting ganked as he's getting further and further ahead or anything like that.
But we talked about how it was kind of more on Snake to be proactive in the early game just because they had more kill pressure or more abilities to continue to snowball this Kindred. But SofM has been prioritizing his farm as opposed to his ganks. So definitely slowing down the rate of snowball from his Rek'Sai to his Kindred for Snake.
Yeah. Although, has been keeping Kid busy, meaning that he can't necessarily gank for this bottom lane that Snake are creating themselves a gold lead utilizing right now.
Oh, let's not kid ourselves. He wasn't going to gank for bottom lane.
Yeah, it's a good point. That's a really fast caster minion. Jiezou just trying to deny some CS, making things annoying for Rain.
Tank is starting to kind of move around from his lane, though. Again, Snake are running a double teleport composition. IG having to take that cleanse on Azir, facing across from Lissandra.
Yeah.
So there is more playmaking potential. Again, Snake should feel a bit of pressure to be proactive, lest they just want to get outscaled.
You can see Tank still able to pick up farm. Is this sort of a point where they don't necessarily have any of their breakpoints just yet? They're waiting to get sort of 2-item power spikes, things like this. Is Martin going very aggressive towards the bottom side? Well,
Snake are naturally winning in the bottom lane. Lucian Karma, so again, range support versus melee support. Likewise, the BF sword initial buy versus the tier. You can see that in the CS difference. So there's not a lot of opportunity unless they want to look for a dive, which they do have a deep ward placed on Gromp, as well as that double TP and the frozen tube. So that's a play Snake have available to them. They could look to try to sway the top lane. Flandre does have his Sheen and Swifty, so he does have kill pressure and chase potential on the Trundle. But that 2v2 of Graves Trundle, especially if you're diving, versus Ekko Kindred, is still, it can get fuzzy if the execution's not there. I still think the better play is on tank, on this TP, and on Snake's mid laner. Again, he sets the ceiling for Snake's success.
Yeah, and once again, they are going to be able to shove out this mid lane, heading down towards the dragon now as Tank chucks a pink ward in, discovers the pink that IG already had placed here, and is going to help SofM take down this dragon. Recurve bow and a dagger, they're going to help out with that Tracker knife. So Cloud Drake #1 is going to go to Snake. Just making way for the Infernal Drake that will be the next one. As Jiezou taking a lot of damage from Kid, end of the line. Full proc. Oh, Culling comes down. Rain caught shopping a little bit. Gets his back stopped. That's a big deal.
The Infernal Drake will be a very big deal for both these comps. A little bit more for Snake, simply because they have Lucian as well as Kindred, and Lucian's going to build a bit more flat AD than the likes of, say, Ezreal will, so the scaling helps him out a little bit more. We'll see if we'll possibly get a big 5v5 over that contested objective, naturally with the Cloud Dragon. Again, IG, they just kind of want to sit back, farm, look for those 2-item breakpoints on Azir and Ezreal, and then try to get engaged in these 5v5, so letting go the initial objective. They got lucky with the RNG Cloud Dragon spawn.
Yeah. Tank, however, able to clear out minion waves underneath this turret now that his Rod of Ages is completed. Jiezou moving up towards the top side of the map right now as Martin left on his own towards the bottom side. Almost has Essence Reaver, only about 400 gold until that one is going to be picked up for the Lucian. Sheen, Lucidity Boots here for Rain, so a bunch of CDR, but otherwise still stacking the tier away. Wants to be able to grab himself that 2-item power spike in the Manamune and the Iceborne Gauntlet when he can.
Still all quiet, though.
Yeah.
We have both the Warrior Enchantment as well as the, what is it called? Razors.
Blood Razor.
Blood Razor. So both junglers.
Unfortunately, not a big green claw anymore.
Is it really unfortunate?
Yeah, it's very unfortunate.
That pink ward is still available, however. They could look to contest this one.
Yeah, so if them utilizing that vision, steals away the red buff, and you can see Wolf's Bite's coming down. Kid taking a lot of damage as Wolf is going to pressure him all the way out of the jungle.
So, again, IG have doomed themselves to their lanes. They just want to sit. They want to farm. Snake have bought into this for the exception that it opens up the 1v1 between SofM and Kid, and that's where they're slowly starting to kind of chip away at gaining advantages, starting to see Kindred take the lead a little bit.
Well, you can see Rookie not going to have any of the gank in the mid lane.
There we go. There's the dive.
Yeah, they're looking for it right now. Very deep ward coming in for the Lissandra as the Culling going to be fully tanked by the Unbreakable, but Tabe's going down so low. The Ignite's going to help pick it up, but it is going to be Lucian grabbing the double kill underneath the turret. SofM making it look easy. No need to use the ultimate. As Kid once again going to be pressured out of his jungle. Nope. Smites it away. So they get at least something, but that's a big double kill for Martin.
A lot of damage going down in the outer mid, however, so Rookie getting a response back. He will probably take this one down to just 25% of its HP before Snake chase him off. Again, we talked about how that was an available play for Snake for a while.
Yeah, and they are able to take down the turret here as well towards the bottom side, so just organic victory.
So they organically won through the bot lane with a superior 2v2 and Lucian and Karma. Again, 2 range versus melee range, as well as the initial battle back, or the battle stats on tier versus BF.
I like battle back. I reckon that's good.
The battle back.
He had a battle back. It's no tier.
What's kind of cool is that they waited to make sure that the jungler wouldn't be in position to act before they pulled the trigger on the TP. So the fact that SofM, is he going to do it? Nice.
Oh, flashes it and waits so patiently for the Emperor's Divide. Tank did very well there, but summon a spell for ultimate. Definitely still worth here as a tie. Is going to get stunned up. Martin comes down. There's the flash over the pillar as Subjugate goes down. Zatai still trying to kite this one out. No mana left, so can't be biting anyone as Martin's still looking for it. Q not going to find it there as Kid able to fight back. Martin still looking for more flashes forward. Kid dodges the piercing light, but it's not going to be enough as Tabe is going to miss the Winter's Bite and then has to stand behind a minion to get himself out. That's 3 kills now for Martin.
And the True Shot Barrage will come across, but obviously Martin not low enough health to gain Rain or recovery kill. I do want to quickly touch back on mid lane. Tank did that with Glacial Path.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he didn't even flash it.
Oh my god.
Which is key because that means that his flash will be up sooner, so we can have another Frozen Tomb flash, but it just kind of goes back to that patience. Like, Tank is such
it looked like a flash.
Good Lissandra player.
Just stood next to Rookie, waited for him, said, all right, I know the animation, don't worry about it, buddy. I got this. And it's comfort. It comes down to comfort because he just does not look this comfortable on any other champion.
Again, we saw it in Caspa Cup. He was so intelligent with playing around Fog of War, but as I say that, he's okay.
Yeah,
we're good.
Is going to use the flash.
That is going to be 2 turrets down in favor of Snake, though, and IG have nothing in response. They're actually just slowly losing control of every aspect of their map. Again, it started with the isolated 1v1 in the jungle, as well as a superior 2v2. IG, the fact that they don't give their bottom lane any sort of support, has been exposed, and Snake are splintering them apart from it.
Certainly are, and you can see that's Rapid Fire Cannon and Essence Reaver already done here for Martin, going for sort of that more late-game oriented crit build with the extra CDR from the Essence Reaver. And he's going to be so strong as this game progresses, especially right now. I mean, that item spike for 15 minutes into the game, ridiculous.
We'll see if it's going to be enough to actually break the outer mid tower, though, because that's kind of the next easiest objective for Snake, other than the dragon spawning in 10 seconds. It's this idea that, okay, we were able to beat or circumvent Zatai and beat down Rain and Tabe, but now it's time for final boss Rookie to go down.
Yeah, well, SofM pressuring Kid one more time, just dancing after him here in the jungle. The dragon has been started. Jiezou going to start it up. SofM, lots of damage to help take that one down, as it looks like he's building towards Renan's Hurricane item number 2. And this Infernal Drake, despite doing a little bit more damage, is definitely going to die pretty quick. And that's 2 dragons now for Snake.
We talked about how important an Infernal Drake will be, just because of the likes of Lucian and Kindred, 2 champions that will actually build semi-decent flat AD, although Kindred's building mostly attack speed right now. Yeah,
Lissandra as well, building a lot of flat AP at the same time, depending on whether he wants to get the Rabadons or not.
It's just in juxtaposition to the likes of Ezreal, who actually doesn't get as much out of an Infernal Drake as someone like Lucian will. Although Graves is going to get more out of it than Kindred will.
Yeah, SofM actually finds Kid and Zatai right now. Jiezou, he's going to head over. SofM grabs himself the Krug camp as Tabe is going to find Jiezou. He's so dead, just out of position. And Kid's able to pick up an easy kill for IG. Snake now, tails between their legs. They're going to slink out of the jungle. Red buff is going to go over to IG, but that was interesting.
Yeah, really unfortunate that Jiezou kind of collapsed that play. So the idea from Snake here is, again, final boss Rookie is in the last standing outer tower and mid, and they know that they don't really have anything to take this Azir out. They'd have to dive him, and you can see right there.
Yeah, Flandre is going to use the ultimate. Lots of damage onto Rookie there as Tabe taking a whole host as well. Flandre is going to fall down, but manages to take down Rookie with his last Time Winder, I believe. The trade in the mid lane, probably still worth for Snake.
Like, the reason why I'm so casual and just talking calmly is because I didn't expect that to why are you fighting that, Snake? Your support just died. You're at a straight numbers disadvantage. You know that IG are in the area. Like, there's literally no reason to be skirmishing there. Just reset the map, wave clear, and then try to do it. And this kind of goes back to this idea of this is why Flandre has kind of become a liability for Snake. He goes so aggressive, so deep when it's not needed. They need to curb his aggression or add some intelligence to it right now.
However, they did manage to kill the wave clear in the mid lane. So theoretically, things looking good as Flandre is going to teleport back in. This outer turret's going to fall down. The last remaining one, now done. As Flandre slowed down, able to phase dive his way to relative safety. One more auto attack from Rain will stun him. But Rain not able to get too much more.
They were able to do that when all 5 members were back, including Flandre using his TP to conserve the creep wave. So instead of dying and then grouping as 5 and taking it down, they could have just waited, grouped as 5, and taken it down.
Yeah, that's a good point. I'm just sort of looking for positives here because it looked very strange.
I was just like, what does he do? I was like, oh, Flandre's fine. He's got chrono break. He's not going to fight this. Oh my god, he's fighting this. I should have known better.
Mm-hmm. Just Flandre things. As Rookie looking to put some pressure here towards the outer turret on the bottom side of the map. SofM continues to clear vision. Jiezou is going to find himself a pink ward here as well as Rain taking care of the mid lane. It looks like bottom lane outer is going to fall in favor of IG.
And in response, Snake are trying to pressure inner top. So they've got their triangle vision that's already been set up when the initial play collapsed from Jiezou getting caught. Now trying to make the most of this gold. Although, that is a very auspicious ping.
Mm-hmm.
We do have Kindred. They're doing it. Caught out by True Shot.
Oh, good True Shot barrage comes in from Rain, but they're still doing it. Rain actually going to get caught out here by Martin, who wants to be able to take down the Ezreal before anything happens. Tabe is going to get a ward in there, but there's the teleport from Tank.
Rookie is still in base. It's going to take a long time for Azir to get there.
Yeah, Martin in trouble here as well as the Baron is going to fall. It goes to the Kindred as SofM locks it down. Zatai's going to fall as Frozen Tomb comes in, but there's the Lamps despite Martin here at exactly the right time. Everyone is going to get off the ultimate, but Martin's just so strong in the backline and Tabe falls. Snake, what a decisive play on the Baron buff at 20 minutes.
So ballsy, but it works out because they're using the double TP. So they see that Rookie goes bottom to trade the outer bot tower for the inner top tower. They pull off inner top, and they immediately go to Baron, knowing that Azir cannot reposition in time.
Genius play from Snake. Use that teleport from Tank just to make sure that they locked it all down. Rod of Ages well and truly stacking at this point. Almost has Zhonya's Hourglass for item number 3. After that Abyssal Scepter, we'll have 30% CDR just from items alone at that stage. And this hasn't been a game about SofM killing everyone on the map. It's about making good jungle camp calls, really.
No, I completely agree. It kind of goes back to his it's almost like a target selection style of jungling.
Yeah.
I'm not going to call it like super cerebral because he's not necessarily hunting the enemy jungler. He's just trying to outmaneuver them.
And take things where he can as well. It was very safely played in the early game. It was well done from Kid to make sure he stole away the 3-buff start.
It was a good initial adaptation from Kid, but the part where it started to fall apart is the fact that Kid didn't then prioritize either camping Rookie or camping Zatai or trying to neutralize his bot lane. Again, SofM was able to get a 1v1, and then his bot lane just passively won. So you had 2 lanes that just got free victories in Snake.
Yeah, and they just managed to get 2 free inner turrets here as well. Last one remaining is the one that they were trying to siege earlier. Up there towards the top side of the map. 7,000 gold now the lead here for Snake as Martin's going to head back to base. Grabs himself a cheeky pickaxe and finishes off those Berserker's Greaves as well. I mean, Martin's having probably one of the best days of his life on this Lucian.
He's definitely been performing on it as the likes of Crystal, so Snake's AD carry has been fairly consistent between the two players. Snake, even though the dragon is spawning in 29 seconds, it is a cloud dragon, so they can continue to say, it doesn't matter if IG trade for this dragon, we're going to make them respond to this inner top tower because it's far more important.
Yeah. Push going to be started here from Martin. Baron buff helping him out there as well as he doesn't necessarily trust his lack of vision around the area, but Snake moving into the enemy jungle will know exactly what's going on as Pink Ward once again going to fall. Jiezou, don't face check that as he is definitely going to. Flandre right on top here as SofM over to the side, not there to get the ultimate as the Glacial part. Oh, the Fissure didn't find him there at all as the ultimate does fly through. Emperor's Divide here from Rookie as SofM is going to get the health back. Flashes out. Tabe is going to fall. Martin is massive in this fight. The flash from Zatai is going to have to get him out as Flandre just takes down Rookie on the backline. Rain's going to die as Martin just pings him with one bullet. And that is 4 dead for 1.
SofM has managed to compensate for Snake's inability to 5v5. They walked into the LPL and they had this really strong teamfight identity, but check this out. He's going to fight 2 people. He's got 2 people on him while the rest of his team just deletes them. And the fact that he's also fighting red buff is better for him because he smites it to get his health back. So he has his Lamb's Respite heal that's coming in, he smites the red buff, he gets more health back, and he draws so much attention and resource that just allows Snake to mop up the rest of that fight.
Meanwhile, Flandre was killing both Rain and Rookie at the same time. And is now going to die to this Ignite from Tabe. Uses his ultimate, actually, gets a fair bit of damage, but not going to be quite good enough.
I like how we come back and it's meanwhile in Flandre land.
Yeah, exactly. There's actually the rapid fire cannon picked up here for SofM as item number 1. Now has a recurve bow sitting in his inventory, but wants to have that extra range.
I feel like it's this idea that SofM is almost kind of like jungle Ella. So
Yeah.
Ella was really key to Snake because he was responsible for their
The
hard
babysitter.
engage as well as their disengage. Like he kind of had to play 2 different roles, which is why Alistar was a big pick for him, as IG are like hunt them, kill them, find them.
Yeah, they're trying to force something really hard right now. Teleport came in from Zatai, but the dragon just fell way too fast.
Also Karma.
Yeah.
And SofM has really shored up kind of this lost identity with losing Ella and bringing in Jiezou. Jiezou is great at initiating fights, especially with his face, if you can't tell. But SofM is really good at balancing different resources, which allow Flandre to make the crazy back reach plays that you saw him do last team fight. You know, getting on top of Rain, getting on top of Rookie, as SofM controls the rest of the fight. So he was kind of like the missing piece.
We'll see whether he's going to continue to do so, as Martin has his Infinity Edge now done. He's ahead by far too much CS for this stage of the game as well. Lucian is very, very strong. Not even going to be answered by the Trundle there as well, because red buff is sitting on this Lucian guy. Always able to clear out vision, Snake, and always at the right place to get their pressure down. There's a big Baron power play, as we saw, as IG feeling like they're sort of having to resort to these desperation brush ganks.
Yeah, Snake, though, have an inkling. Aw, Jiezou.
Oh, this is your job, Jiezou. Get in there.
He's got 99 problems.
But a brush ain't one.
Flirting with disaster.
Yeah, he's playing with our hearts right now.
There we go, though. Double TP is now going to be in effect as Flandre walks down to the bottom side. See if Snake are brave enough to contest for an objective, or if they're just going to wait the minute for the Baron. I think the more consistent play would be to just wait for the Baron.
Yeah, continue taking things all across the map. Lucian went back, grabbed himself that Vampiric Scepter as well, so he's looking like he has a fair bit more of that sustain. As Renan's Hurricane now completed here for SofM, so he's got so much attack speed, it is ridiculous. These Infernal Drakes, whilst not giving as much flat AD, still important, you know, considering the fact that he wants to be hitting people with that attack damage.
Still part of a healthy, well-balanced breakfast for any carry-oriented jungler.
Yeah, exactly.
Got it.
You're always thinking about your rice bubbles, aren't you?
I had the most amazing rice bubbles.
Well, Kid protecting his pink ward here. As you can see, SofM just continuing his dominance of the jungle. Says Flandre, come on, man. But he's actually going to donate that one over. Strength of the Ages. Going to head into his back pocket as Zatai pops out of the brush. Pwah! And Flandre says, yay, someone to fight, which is pretty standard Flandre.
What's cool is that Snake were able to neutralize a lot of the power points for IG, like Rookie and Zatai.
Oh, Tabe taking a lot of damage here as SofM is going to launch himself over the wall. Teleport comes in. Flandre going to make himself known here in this Baron pit. Martin just smacking this thing in the face as in goes Kid. He steals the Baron! He dies for it. We'll see whether the man advantage is going to work out here for Snake, but that is a big pick-off. And just not a good news story for Snake.
As I was just saying, we saw Zatai against Flandre, and it's like, Zatai really means nothing. Like, he's been completely neutralized. Rookie really doesn't mean anything. He gets outmaneuvered. Like, this game was so cool, because Snake, they isolated SofM versus Kid, and they got the advantage there, and they really just splintered and tore that apart. Kid gets the Baron steal. Like, that was the...
That has bought them a solid 6 minutes here in this game, though.
IG are such a roller coaster.
Yeah, Snake probably want to wait for another siege.
Oh, definitely. And again, it's super important to buy that time then because it's a scaling composition. Ah, that's unfortunate.
Flandre is just annoyed.
I would be annoyed.
Yeah, Zatai is actually going to be able to do about it. Kid, though, he's got some items. Ghostblade built up as well as that Phantom Dancer. Dueling build here for the Graves.
He made his mark. He got the Baron steal.
Yeah. That's all he needed. As Rain has really been a non-factor. Building up towards that Blade of the Ruined King where he can, but in comparison to sort of the triple crit threat coming out of Martin, it's a very scary thing. Flandre throws down the parallel convergence.
AD carries have different identities. You have like the playmaker like Uzi. You have a hard carry. Let's actually say Def's a playmaker. Uzi's a hard carry. And then you have like Janitor, which is going to be someone like, let's say Imp. Just janitorial duty.
Oh, God, Snake. They're
Martin,
setting up the trap.
Martin is a facilitator.
Oh, there's the parallel convergence. Doesn't find anyone here as Tank still holding onto the claw. There it is, right into the middle of the team. Flashes forward. Massive explosion onto Rain as he ults himself up. And Flandre right in amongst. He's actually going to die before using the ultimate there as Martin throws the culling sort of randomly. Flashes forward, though. Picks up Tabe. Tank has the ultimate from SofM. Perfectly timed. And they managed to get their team fight. That is 3 for 1.
And the sad thing is if you actually check Invictus Gaming's flanking vision, they had the appropriate vision to be pushed up that far, just not the one ward. They needed like the fiddlesticks ward.
Look at that damage from Tank's Lissandra.
Look at their triangle vision. It was just that single pit that wasn't warded.
Listening to you get excited about vision is one of my favorite things.
I never thought it would happen in the LPL. The fact that I get to talk about triangle vision and wards and denying vision, I didn't think the day would ever come.
I know. And teams understanding how important it is as well. The Snake do love to play around vision and vision style team comps as well. What with Lissandra, things like Twitch there as well.
Oh, they love it. They're really intelligent about it. It's one of the coolest things to watch with Tank is how he abuses Fog of War and maneuvers in between it. Like, that's a more obvious example. But he does this stuff all the time, especially around Dragon and Baron fights. Deep TP.
Yeah, they're looking for this flanking play as Tank making its way all the way around. This Dragon going down very low as SofM not going to be able to get it. So
Surprise!
First Infernal is going to come in. Tank not going to be able to find his way into the fight as SofM does need to be careful. IG now trying to get out, but Snake have the flank. The Lissandra just with so much AoE potential as Flandre does have the parallel convergence down, but just jumps right into the backline. Kid taking so much damage as SofM has found Zatai. He's holding off for quite some time, though, as Jiezou is going to be the first one to fall down. The Frozen Tomb comes in. Double kill immediately for Tank, one of them being Rookie, which is so important for this team. And Martin just hunting down Zatai. He flashes himself out, but he's definitely going the wrong direction as Rain and Kid looking to try and get back. There's the teleport as Zatai is going to be out. Going to be able to make his way out and gets himself to his inhibitor.
So, what, 3 members of IG limp their way out, possibly 2?
Yep, SofM just holds his auto attack, wants Wolf's Bite to be able to get the work done, but it is going to be won there by Rain. Grabs himself the double bust at the same time. That was actually just beautiful play out of the AD carry. His teleport is going to come in. Flandre is going to murder him. There he goes.
He made his point. Rain styled in SofM.
Yep.
Kid got the Baron steal. Rain got the 1v1.
Look at how sad SofM is. He's like, oh. No, now he's looking fine again. Got over it very quickly.
He definitely tried to style on him. He could have, he could have walked away from that. He wanted it.
Yep. But 12,000 gold is going to be the lead here for Snake. 17-7 as far as the kills are concerned. IG still on the ropes, but haven't got an inhibitor down just yet. Baron is going to be up in about 4 or so minutes as it has worn off the members of IG.
A lot of momentum still lost for Snake. Yes, they retained their gold lead, but we've been sitting in the exact same map position for the last 4 to 5 minutes. So good news for IG fans, bad news for IG fans. You still have a base in ruins.
Yes.
But you do have Rookie. And he's got, well, he's about to get his death cap.
But he's 2-3-1 in comparison to a legendary Tank on the other side of the map. This Lissandra is so incredibly big. Almost has 6 items.
If Tank can get into the back line.
True.
He did a good job on his TP and setting himself up for the last fight, but unfortunately was kicked out by, I believe, an Emperor's Divide.
Yeah, and then had to go for the secondary flank. Did play that one out very well. See whether he's going to be able to continue as this game goes on. 34 minutes in as SofM once again positioning himself in the enemy jungle. Parallel convergence from Flandre is going to fly across as he's looking for something, but red buff going to go to SofM relatively easily. When it comes to red buffs, seems like his smite button working out very well. When it comes to Dragon and Baron, not so much.
It's only been the one Baron.
And the Infernal Drake, the last one.
That was a bit more chaotic.
Kudos to Kid. That's all I'm saying.
No, Kid hasn't had an amazing game, but he certainly hasn't cost his team the game yet. It's more so, again, been his bottom lane, although their lack of support could be looked at as a flaw for IG. Teams definitely starting to identify that it is one of IG's weaknesses.
And sort of the only real area that Snake actually won out on. Every other lane was very, very even as far as that farm was concerned. Even the jungle, Kid keeping up very, very well. But Martin with his 20 CS lead naturally and then getting the double kill.
That makes so much sense, though. Why try to beat IG solo laners when that's where all their power is? Instead, take what IG are weak at and use that to beat them.
Yeah.
Especially when you have the likes of Tank and Flandre. Yeah, they can probably survive or keep up if you're looking at the top lane, Flandre versus a tie. But why risk it? Like, that's like flipping a coin. Either Zatai is going to get huge or Flandre is going to get huge. Instead, I'm going to isolate your jungler. I'm going to beat him into the ground, and my bot lane's going to win.
And play to your performing lane there as well, as Tabe is going to get stunned in his jungle, but Pink Ward going to be cleared from IG. Baron buff just respawned. His Tank looking for a teleport play.
He's got plenty of options in terms of vision.
But tower fell down somewhere. I believe it was a Sun turret. Martin was able to grab that. As now all of Snake going to start off this Baron buff. Ward has full vision available here for IG. The teleport is now going to come in from Tank. Flandre just trying to keep Kid off this Baron as everyone's peeled off. The rest of Snake going to be moving around. Kid over the wall now, but Flandre is so tanky, able to do anything he wants. Doesn't have his Guardian Angel, still remember, as SofM looking to try and stop the big troll. Martin's going to come in, and oh my god, the damage.
Here comes Tank for the flank, however.
Yeah, looking to get in there. The claw goes down, flashes forward. Kid's going to get snared up by that Ring of Frost. His Tank just ults himself. Zhonya's is going to come out actually after he ulted Kid, but it's a triple kill now for the Lucian. And Rookie trying to run for the hills. Ult comes out from SofM. Bit celebratory there, as now the rest of Snake, with all 5 members, are going to head back to the Baron.
Continuing to make intelligent decisions and work together as a unit, pulling off the Baron, chasing IG away, and making sure that there's no way that they can contest this.
And despite the fact that, you know, both of the carries from IG are available, they've got no one to start any of these fights off for them, as Martin can head back to base. We'll see whether he can finish his last Whisper item or whether it's just going to be that last Whisper. And no, mortal reminder, he's going to complete that 6-item build for the 903 Lucian. And Tank, he can probably go back and grab his Void Staff whenever he feels like it. And this Lissandra is going to be doing despicable amounts of damage.
Doesn't necessarily need it because I don't believe there's a locket. I can't quite tell what Tabe's first item is.
Yes, it is. It's
okay. Hey, it suddenly appeared.
Yeah, nice. Off
Thanks,
cooldown.
game client.
15,000 gold now.
Yeah,
the
now he
lead
needs
for
Void
Snake.
Staff.
He does.
That was the end of the analysis. I was like,
and
well,
there it is.
Technically,
Look at this. Perfect.
If he doesn't hit the jungler and the top laner, they don't really have any MR because there's no locket. He's got a locket.
Well, Zatai takes half of his health bar. Still has that subjugate available, though.
Elder Drake is massive. Far too big.
It most certainly is.
Flandre is fighting 4 people.
Oh, SofM looking for the flank. Gets a cheeky auto attack in there as Flandre and Tank now together. Flandre just being a huge frontline. Tank has lost a bunch of his health bar as Parallel Convergence is going to lock down Zatai. Claw comes in. Tank doesn't have Flash, and he's taking a lot of damage. As the ultimate comes out from SofM, Tank is going to utilize that in order to keep himself up. But Flandre is just unrelenting with his pressure. Martin, don't take all of your health bar. Doesn't, but almost does to Rookie's damage, and they do have to respect this Azir.
Using their empowered recalls, however, to try to get their carries back in position. Flandre has TP. Tank does not. IG, I think they're going to go ahead and give this one. No, they still want it.
Oh, yeah. Teleport to come in from Zatai. Flandre will be able to answer it as well, right in that wolf pit, so he'll have a very deep flank as now everyone is so low. Tabe, he's going to be the first to fall as Martin picks up that kill. Rain now running for the hill. Sun Turret helping out as Flandre's going to get stunned, but Kid is so dead. And Zatai, that flank was just not quite enough as now he has to run away as well. Splintered RIG as Rookie's able to take away SofM. Jiezou running away as the Ignite's ticking down. Martin takes down Zatai, but that could be big for IG as there's no jungler now available for Snake.
And again, Snake making the most of their empowered recall. continuing to dive these towers.
Yeah, the stun's going to come in. Phase dive and the chrono break is going to get Flandre to safety as Martin just takes down this inhibitor turret on his own. He's so damn huge. Looking to head over and take every inhibitor on this map. Actually looking to just finish this game as Rookie wants to take down Martin. The ace comes in. He had to try something, but it just was not enough as Tabe has to watch his Nexus fall. Snake taking the first victory against Invictus Gaming in pretty emphatic fashion.
Very clean.
Yeah.
So again, we talked about how there should have been a higher priority on Snake to be more proactive in the early game in terms of ganking. They have much more kill pressure. It's a farm composition out of IG. They kind of want to sit in their lanes and just get Azir and Ezreal to those big power points. So they did a brilliant job in their draft phase by getting a stronger 2v2 and putting down Tabe and Rain.
Yeah.
But then they kind of